former President Donald Trump has not been afraid to tweet out his thoughts about the Brittany Griner hostage exchange. Paul's brother David Whelan hit back at President Trump for his comments, arguing his attitude is disappointing from a former president. I think that what President Biden did was to take care of an American who was in peril and bring home the American that he could bring home. So it's disappointing that a former president would have that sort of perspective, Whelan said. Whelan also added that all Americans should be happy Griner has been freed from wrongful detention, congratulating the basketball player and her family on her release. Paul Whelan has been in Russian custody for over 4 years at a labor camp in Russia's Mordovia Republic. In 2018, while President Trump was in office, the Marine veteran was arrested and convicted on charges of espionage and spying for the United States government, facing up to 16 years in prison. My brother pleaded from his prison for President Trump to tweet about him during President Trump's term in office, and Trump did not. Whelan said this on Cavuto Live today. And now to talk about Paul et al. Is super offensive. The U.S. government was not engaged in Paul's case for the first 2 years, and not all of that is President Trump's fault. I think the government wasn't prepared to deal with the wrongful detentions by nation states. They were still focused on terrorist groups and hostages. The old-fashioned sort of approach, David said. Representative Mike Waltz, Republican out of Florida, also shared his criticism on Twitter Thursday. Where is a U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, who has been unjustly held by Russia for longer? Celebrities over veterans. This is how the second prisoner exchange, where President Biden has left Paul Whelan behind. Yep, Tim Walberg, Republican out of Michigan. A Marine and a Michigan native, Paul has wrongfully been in prison for 4 years. Absolutely heartbroken for the Whelan family. They deserve better. David Whelan responded to GOP critics. Despite his own frustration with his brother's wrongful detention and continued to plea to see Paul freed, Whelan called on leadership to fix the problem rather than complain. In others' news, Hunter Biden's legal team in disarray ahead of GOP investigations and are not fully coordinating. This is trouble. A Saturday Washington Post report offered some details on the legal defense team taking shape to oppose congressional Republican investigations into the Hunter Biden that are expected to start once the GOP majority takes over the House in January. The article from the Washington Post noted that Biden defense team is almost frantically assembling, not fully coordinating, and running the risk that it will not share a unified approach when the investigations begin. The piece, composed by reporters Matt Weiser and Michael Schreier, began by detailing a strategy session last September where Hunter Biden's lawyer, Kevin Morris, pushed Hunter and Biden's camp to be more aggressive against conservatives preparing to investigate Biden over allegations of corruption. The article mentioned fears from people involved in Biden's team that the frantic assembly will set up a shaky defense for Biden. It stated the risk for Hunter Biden, and possibly for President Biden as well, is that the hodgepodge of efforts is not fully coordinating and does not share a unified approach. According to the outlet, Biden's legal defense is split into several distinct teams. Hunter Biden has been working with Morris and his friend, sometimes financial benefactor, and a team of researchers. The younger Biden has also hired several other lawyers. Chris Clark, who is handling a federal criminal investigation into business dealings and other matters. It added that Biden has a separate attorney, Joshua A. Levy, to deal directly with the House investigators, and that there is also a separate legal strategy being developed by the White House and the Democratic National Committee. Some involved argue that Hunter and Morris should stay out of the limelight so Democrats can focus on painting the Republican investigations as a partisan political exercise. So right now we know the Hunter Biden laptop has been confirmed. It is his. We're going to see what happens come January and how much of this actually gets released to the public. That's the news for now.